listening can help build relationships. And relationships is the place, the safe place where we can explore differences and things that are unknown to us. I will say that to you, 30 some years ago when Micah started public education, he was in a self-contained or segregated classroom. And, I was a social worker, so I thought services for someone with a label is good. That's what I knew, right? Thank goodness I unlearned that. But Micah came home one day, and as the story goes, he said, I want to go in the same door as all my friends. Mm-hmm. And that's what started us on this journey towards inclusion. But we had to also hear the stories from other families about what that meant. So sometimes it might take 3, 4, 5 years to move into that. So I'll stop there, Sarah Jo, and move forward.
No, I think that's all where I would say I start as well is listening. And it is hard, right? Because as I'm one who's, I would get rid of all segregated spaces today if I could, if I had that magic wand. But understanding what is your fear with this? What are you afraid of? Because often I've found that it comes from a place of I want to protect my child. I then follow up with where do you see your child in 15 years? Because after K-12 education, we cannot create an artificial environment for them in the way that we do. There's also this piece about parents knowing their rights. So many folks I talk to say, well, I'm told this can only happen over here. And so that misunderstanding of, no, you can still have the most intensive services in a gen ed classroom. We're not rowing a student out to sink or swim. And then really diving into what skills, when we talk about skills that students need when they graduate K-12 education, what is that? It's not being able to fold towels. It's not having a coffee cart. It's having relationships with peers and advocating for yourself and having critical thinking skills. And the best place for that is general education. And so helping parents come along and understanding that. And sometimes it can take, right? Sometimes I have folks I work with and I'm like, let's just start with specials. Like if we're really fearful, let's start there. And then we work our way up. And I'm comfortable doing that because I've never had a family come back and say, I wish we hadn't done that. Because inclusion works when you have the right support. So sometimes it's building that trust. And that can be said with schools too, with families and schools. And let's just try it. Let's try it. Let's give all the supports. And if I was a betting person, I'm going to bet on inclusion every time.